Hi everybody, my name is Angelina and I work here at the Education Department at Utah's Hogle Zoo. Today we're going to be learning more about conservation by doing crafts.
So we're going to be making a model of an orangutan bridge, and orangutan bridges are things that conservationists actually use to help orangutans in the wild get from one patch of rainforest to another when they've been separated by palm oil plantations. To do this activity, we're going to need a few things. We're going to need paper, a pen or pencil, scissors, crayons, tape, and string. Do your best to draw an orangutan shape. It works best if the shape is swinging. Orangutans are known for being this really cool orangey red coppery color, so I picked my orange crayon to color my orangutan. That's one way that I remember that orangutans are different from other great ape species. So orangutans and orange both start with the letter O, so that's how I remember that they go together, and that makes them different. But some other things that make them different are orangutans are the only great ape species found in Asia. They're found on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra. Other great ape species include animals like gorillas and chimpanzees and bonobos, and all three of those are found in Africa and not Asia. So that's one way that the orangutans are different. Orangutans are also really good climbers. Now, of course, the other apes can climb trees, but orangutans are particularly good at it. In fact, they spend most of their life up in the trees. They also have these really cool feet that work just like hands that makes them even better climbers. That's an adaptation I wish I had. So I think it'd be cool to be able to climb that well. Now I'm going to add a little face to my orangutan because I think adding those little extra details is fun. We're going to cut out our orangutan to make it easier for it to swing on the bridge that we're going to make. It's kind of a weird shape, so do your best. That's what my orangutan looks like at the end. Now we're going to make our palm oil plantation. I just drew one palm oil tree, but you could draw a whole bunch of them. You could draw just the tree tops that are kind of palm tree shaped. Just come up with the way you want to do it. Now palm oil and orangutans, how they go together is kind of like this. So we use palm oil in a lot of stuff. We use it in snack foods, we use it in things like soap and lotion and makeup. It's really hard for us not to use palm oil, and that makes it so people need a lot of it. And when palm oil is grown, they often have to clear cut rainforests that the orangutans and other animals live in. And that makes it so not only do they not have enough space, not only is part of their home gone, but it also fragments what is left. And that fragmentation can make it so it's hard for orangutans and other animals to get from one part to another part safely, so it's not always safe for them to cross these palm oil plantations. But it makes it hard for them to find food and find others of their kind so they can have more babies. So it ends up being a really big problem for orangutans and other animals. Luckily, there are things that people can do that can make a big difference. And one of those things is by supporting companies that use sustainable palm oil, or palm oil that doesn't clear cut rainforests the way that non-sustainable palm oil does. So sustainable palm oil, there's a really cool app to help you figure out which companies do this and which ones don't. There's an app from the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo where they have it so you can scan a barcode, and it lets you know if that company uses sustainable palm oil or not, so that way we can make decisions that can help orangutans, even though we live in a very different part of the world here in Utah. Now we're going to come up with a plan for how to get our orangutan from one part of our rainforest, which is over here, to another part of rainforest over here without touching our paper that has our palm oil plantation on it. There's a few different ways you can do this. I'm just going to show you one way you can do it, but you can go ahead and use your imagination. So I have some paper that I cut into a strip, and I'm just going to roll it up kind of like a toilet paper tube. If you wanted to, you could even use a real toilet paper tube to do this. I'm going to take my ends and I'm going to tape it, and I want to make sure that at least one of my ends is as flat as I can make it so it can stand up really well, because this is going to be the post for my bridge. I'm going to use 2 pieces of tape on either end just to make sure that this shape holds really well. Now, since they're the posts of the bridge, that means I need 2 of them, so I am going to be making another one of these toilet paper tube shapes with another strip of paper. Now for this part, you can definitely use paper that might be scrap paper. That's what I did here. It's kind of nice to be able to reuse things that I might not be able to reuse otherwise. Make it so I'm making less waste. Again, 2 pieces of tape. Makes it so it stays really well. Now we're going to take our palm oil plantation paper. We're going to put one of our posts on one side. That's for one part of rainforest, and one part on the other side. So our orangutan is going to want to get between those 2 posts. We're going to take some string. This can be a little bit tricky, and you'll see that it's going to take me a few tries to get it just right. So you want enough string that it's not going to sag in the middle, but you want to make sure you have enough string that it's not too tight and pulls one of the posts over. So as you watch, you'll notice I realize I have a little bit more string than I want, so in order to problem solve, I'm going to tape it to the back of one of the posts, tape it to the back of the other post to make it so it has a little bit less give. And if it's not just right, it might just take a little bit of finagling, a little bit of trial and error to make sure that those posts are exactly where you want it to be. It's okay if this takes a little bit or a couple of tries. Then you're going to get your orangutan. You're going to fold its hands down so it can hold on. If you wanted to, you could color the back of those hands too. And that's how you make your orangutan bridge. Now again, orangutan bridges are real things that conservationists use in the wild to make sure that orangutans can stay safe and make sure that we have orangutans for a long time in the wild. But there are other things that we can do too. So do some research, learn more about orangutans and their conservation, and you can even help more by telling other people about the different things that we can do to help save orangutans in the wild.